This is my journal article presentation 2. The title is Adapting Instruction in Response to Academic and Social Situational Tendencies, Supporting a Student with a Learning Disability. The authors are Samantha Morita and Casey Hord from the University of Cincinnati and Zachary Gamble from the West Claremont School District, presented by Erica Anderson. Overview of the article and theory. The purpose of this study was to analyze students' academic and social tendencies and to show how that can aid teachers in their ability to have a better understanding of their students' educational experiences and lead to strategic adaptation of instruction. This study was conducted as a qualitative case study. Research was conducted and analyzed of the mathematical and social tendencies of an 8th grade student that has learning disabilities and support tendencies of a tutor during varied situations. Findings of this study showed that the tutor was able to adapt and modify instruction due to the recognition of patterns of student tendencies between learning situations. This supported and encouraged a successful learning environment. Authors, perspectives, and opinions. Research participant Lester was more actively engaged in math tasks and willing to attempt math tasks when peers were not present. Lester was more receptive to one-to-one support from tutors and had a positive response to verbal praise and encouragement. When peers were present, research participant Lester was unfocused on the task at hand and more focused on being accepted by peers. It appeared as though he was worried about making mistakes in front of peers, and seeking their approval and acceptance took priority. For middle school age students, there is a tremendous amount of influence that peers have. There has to be an awareness of peer interaction among students. Research participant Lester's preoccupation with peers allowed him to choose to make his social needs a priority over his academic needs. My reaction. Peer perception. I found this journal article very enlightening from an educator perspective. It's very important to take into account student relationships amongst each other, as this can impact the level and quality of work being done by students. The relationships that teachers build with their students can only help them to understand not only academic, but social aspects of their students. Communication is vital to adapting instruction. Communication with students, parents, and other teachers that students may have will only enhance the background knowledge that we have of our students. This will ensure that we're able to provide students with the supports that they need. This will also adequately allow us to adapt instruction in specific social and academic situations to meet the individual needs of our students. Implications to practice. Teachers that have understanding of students' behaviors and tendencies are better able to create classroom environments that support students' social and emotional as well as academic needs. It's really important for us as educators to get some background knowledge of our students, to understand personalities and how they may act in certain social situations. The way that students behave during certain social settings may have great bearing on how they are achieving academically. Awareness of peer relationships among students and awareness of situational behavioral changes. Students are very aware of their peers and what their peers think, and acceptance and approval is such a big thing for children today. A lot of times that creates situational behavior changes. Students may act a certain way in front of peers as opposed to one-on-one. So the quality of and level of work that is being done may not be the best that that student is able to do. Just as educators, it's helpful for us to be mindful and aware of the presence of peer relationships and the effect that they may have on students' academic achievements. Communication, observation, and implementation. Communication between teacher and students, teacher and parents, and teacher and other teachers, co-teachers, is vital. It makes sure that everyone's on the same page. It allows for the sharing of information. It gives a better overall outlook. Observation. It's good for us as educators to observe our students, see how they interact with their peers, gain a little insight. It will only help us to instruct and adapt and modify our instruction. Last but not least, implementation. Taking into account all of these things will help us to better adapt and modify instruction and implement these things within our classrooms. References. Adapting instruction in response to academic and social situational tendencies. Supporting a student with a learning disability. Samantha Marita, Casey Hord, Zachary Gamble. Learning Disabilities. A Contemporary Journal.